How are you, everybody who is watching this video? I would like to welcome you into our fantastic YouTube channel that called Tanzania Online O-Level Seki School Olenjolai in square bracket. My name is Olenjolai Moko from the beautiful and fantastic country that called United Republic of Tanzania. I would like to welcome you. I have something fantastic, new thing, a new idea that which is going to blast your mind and make you to think differently. So, I've been transmitting a lot of materials and a lot of concepts in science. It means in physics, mathematics, and even in chemistry, and especially for the O-level according to the Tanzania syllabus. So I've been teaching basic mathematics, basic physics, and basic chemistry for the Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, and Form 4. So today I have one of my Form 5 students who has been, he has graduated soon, of just a few months ago when we are recording this program, from O-level studies. So he has been doing his studies in one of the private schools, and then he has been going through my official channels. Okay, and then when he has been going through, then he remembered the real situations and the real environment that he had during his studies. So when he remembered all of those issues, then he said that, no sir, I have something that to testify and to tell even these present and future generations concerning about this digital platform. So I would like to introduce to you Mr. Joshua Julius Msuya, one of my students. I have tried my level best to plant my seed into him, and we're expecting good harvestings in near future. So stay tuned and then follow along, listen careful what he's going to share with you, because he's from the receiving side. People who have been watching what I've been teaching. So you have been listening to me, that is good. Maybe you are even get tired to listen to me, but today we have something new which is making sense for you. So stay tuned. Then I would like to welcome Mr. Joshua to the platform. Okay, so this is Mr. Joshua Julius, one of my students who is doing his studies currently at Mzumbe Secondary Schools for Form 5. So he told me that, sir, I have something to speak with the community, online community, because actually the programs has helped me a lot. Then I want to share something that is new with those that who have already joined with the programs, and even with the new students will be joined these programs, because this is a generational and it's a long-term program. So I have something to say with them, which has come from my heart. So Joshua, you are welcome. Right now that thousands of the Tanzanians and thousands of the African students and even worldwide students are watching you anywhere else, and then they are ready to listen to what you want to say with them. So may God bless you. Welcome.
Hi everybody, my name is Joshua Julius Msuya, a graduate of St. Stephen Boys Secondary School located in Mwanga, Kilimanjaro. Currently, I am a PCB student schooling at Mzumbe Secondary School, pursuing a combination of PCB that is advanced chemistry, advanced physics, and advanced biology. Thank you.
Okay, so Mr. Joshua, you said that you have something to speak with all of our students.
Yeah.
And you know that we have a community there of students, and even near future, some other teachers will join us, right?
Yes.
So when you have been pursuing your O-level, right? Form 1 to Form 4, have you ever taken any digital programs in video platform for learning chemistry or physics or biology or mathematics?
No, actually no.
No. Why no? Were you not introduced with internet?
I was not aware of this, because for me I knew that internet is just for watching football and others. So after reaching my advanced education, I found that you can use internet connection, internet systems for learning systems and actually it simplifies, because it brings the presence of the teacher all the time. Yes.
Okay, so you have never learned any digital platform during your O-level studies?
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But today you say that you want to encourage those students who want to use a digital platform. So you'll tell us why, right? You'll tell us why in your future. So when did you meet with a digital program for the first time?
Next question. I met it when I was doing my preparation of my advanced education systems. I found Mr. Olenjolai. We did the long marathon of studying advanced chemistry, advanced physics, and basic applied mathematics. And sometimes I was doing biology, in table teaching, and online using Indian teachers. So I first met the digital program when I was doing preparation of advanced system.
Thank you very much for your good answer. Again, I have another questions.
Okay.
Okay, so when you have been visiting online, were you familiar with your online platform before you joined with this digital platform? Were you familiar with online? Were you using the internet for different issues?
Yes, actually,
Yes.
I used internet for different
issues, right? Have you ever come when you have been visiting any YouTube channel that maybe, or any YouTube channels or any Instagram channels that maybe there are some of the materials for according to the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania? Have you ever met that? Have you ever seen that?
Actually, it's a problem because I have one of the testimony during my Form 1 studies. I Google the Hooke's law, derivation of Hooke's law, and I found a complex derivation. I asked my teacher, "Hey sir, what is this?" And he asked me, "Oh no man, that's not your level." So it does not correlate with Tanzania or level syllabus.
Okay, good. So then, again, I have another question. It does not correlate with all level syllabus. So we might say that possibly, even if there is another program teaching by using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania, maybe it is there, but you are not familiar with.
Yes.
But this is one among those programs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. So, have you ever been taught by Olenjolai?
Yes.
Yes. So, can you explain in brief?
Actually, Olenjolai has taught me different perspectives. First of all, he's my teacher, specifically educational. He's my teacher spiritually, in social perspective. So, this man is a serious man. I can say because he sometimes acts as a brother, sometimes acts as a friend, sometimes acts as a teacher. Teacher is somehow harsh. Yes, that's how the man is.
Okay, good. So, were you encountering some of the problems before you met him in learning?
Yeah.
Well, can you
Yes.
share with us few of the problems that you've been sharing and how it has been resolved after you met him?
Okay. Let me speak it freely because during my O-level, for now I am a graduate of O-level secondary school. During my O-level education system, science, I loved the science, but physics was a bit trouble to me. And I remember even during my O-level result, I got as I got. But after visiting this man in my advanced education system, I found I even regret, hey, why didn't I find this man during my O-level? Maybe I could got an A+ of physics during ordinary level education.
Okay, fine. So that is the problems that have been encountered. So physics was a little bit problem.
Yes.
So after you met him, did you reveal your hope has been revealed?
Yes, of course.
Okay, that is good. So then now you want to speak as a message to the O-level students.
Yeah.
So yourself, you learned physical programs during your O-level studies,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And then now you want to tell or to add something else into the minds of the present and future O-level students.
Yes.
Why do you want to add up these digital programs? Why do you want to advise them?
Thank you. For me, my advice to the current and the future generation, because the lifestyle of nowadays, without education, my friend, you can succeed in anything. Using digital technology is somehow sweet, because for example, for us learning this all stuffs, we learned Archimedes principle, we learned pressure, we learned force, we learned everything in O level. Speaking on mathematics and science, this channel are directed toward the science student, serious science student, and serious mathematicians, O level mathematicians. So learning using digital technology is it simplifies a lot of concepts. You find that the teacher has entered in the class. You go out, you find nothing in head. It happens. Even me, I remember most of the times the teacher enter, I got nothing. After that, I find him, or I find my friends. I have my friends Gabriel, Aziz, those are my friends who we used to start together during my O level, even currently my advanced. So we found a friend, hey man, have you understand anything? The man told me, brother, I got nothing. You find the teacher. So you find the teacher is a bit occupied. He has another classes to teach. So that's bring problems, and finally nectar comes or exams come, because me, I remember one of the things that helped me to achieve more in my ordinary level education, it's examination. I had 5 series of examination, making a total of 65 examination per term. So you find that at the end of the exam, you fail because the teacher is occupied, you didn't understand, the whole class didn't understand. You know, physics, Form 3 physics, Form 4, it's a bit complex compared to Form 1 and 2. So you find the teacher is occupied, yourself, you have stress, so it comes a problem, and finally you end getting nothing, hence failing in exams.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Joshua.
Yes.
So now, can you firstly, maybe according to your research, I want just to get some data from you according to a little of your research.
Yes.
What can you say in United Republic of Tanzania, in general, in United Republic of Tanzania?
Yes.
How about what can you say about scarcity of science, good science teachers and good mathematicians teachers?
Yes.
So can you say anything else? That what is your research? Is there any scarcity?
Yes.
So relate that such kind of the presence of the teachers and the scarcity of the students who want to pursue science and mathematics.
Thank you. According to my research, I found I had one of my friends who are studying in government schools. I thank God that I studied in St. Stephen Boys Secondary School, located in Mwanga, Kilimanjaro. It's a private school. In that school, teachers were many. We had in mathematics, we had 6 teachers. In sciences, more than 6. So that helped us to pursue, because I remember in our school we were much better in mathematics and biology, chemistry, and somehow physics, but not much good. So in government school, teachers are not many. I found one of my friends testified to me that, man, even this D that I got in physics, I thank God, because I struggled a lot, teachers in tuitions. One of my friends even testified to me that he even one day he ran away from school and went to another private school nearby, so as he may be taught some of the topic, because we find months are over. For O-level secondary school Form 4, we have 11 months. Not 11, let's say just 9 months, because there is a holiday and the nectar is usually in November. So you have
How are you, everybody who is watching this fantastic video? My name is Olenjolai Mokotayai Losingo. Simply just call me Olenjolai. I'm from United Republic of Tanzania. Simply just call it Tanzania, and this is our national flag. We'd like to welcome all the foreigners into these beautiful countries, and also to insist the citizens of United Republic of Tanzania to enjoy the beauty and the wealth in our own country. Well, so today I have fantastic sessions, and even with you in physics, and especially for the ordinary level. This is just called fundamental physics, right? It's not advanced physics. It's not possible that he applies physics. This is all about the fundamental physics. And before even I take you into the today's sessions, which is session 1, I would like first of all to welcome you into our online school that's called the Tanzania Online. So it's called Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. In square bracket. Excuse me. So Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, in square bracket Olenjolai. There's no this M. This is my initial name for Moko. And also there's no this initial name. Simultaneously, I would also welcome you into one of our YouTube channel. We have 6 YouTube channels. This is one of them, which is called Tanzania Online O-Level Secondary School, in square bracket Olenjolai. You can search these ones in the YouTube search engine, and you'll see that what actual that we are doing for the ordinary secondary students or middle school students. So I would like just to first of all that before even I explain to you in detail, I would like just to remind you the visions of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. So that because the word of God said that in Proverbs 29 verse 18, that's very important verse. It has been blessing my life for a long time. So that's why that I'll be keep on quoting of it, because I know it is powerful. So this is an assignment that God has given me that to do, and I know that He will give also some other teachers worldwide. But this is on my side. I know that what are an assignment that have been given by God. So God has given me an assignment to teach, to train, to incubate, to mentor, to lead some group of students who will be ready to take the classroom instructions in science and mathematics, to combine with the knowledge of the Word of God from the Bible, from the Holy Bible, in order to solve real life problems. So that's all. So it means that what I'm telling you, I know that because I know what am I telling you, because I'm also a product of those 2 scenarios. The first category or the first scenario, I'm a product of the classroom I'm a product of classroom instructions in ordinary level or in ordinary secondary school. I did my ordinary secondary school in Tanzania, so I know the classroom instructions, right? And also I'm a product of the Word of God from the Holy Bible, and I have begun to combine these 2 knowledge. And actually, once I've combined them together, then I took them to solve real life problems, and I found that it's working. So it took some time for me to achieve what I'm telling you, and even 2 years ago it takes some time. But regardless of how long will it take, maybe months, maybe a year or 2 years or 3 years to build up this mindset. But that is our destiny, because it's better if you have a destiny, or you have a plan, or you have a target. That's our own target. So our main objective in this platform is not to have ordinary secondary students to pass the exam. That's one of our specific objectives. Our main objective in this platform is to help all the ordinary secondary students to think differently, to take the classroom instructions combined with the knowledge from the Word of God that I'll be teaching in other departments, because here we are in the departments of physics. We have so many departments in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, in square bracket Olenjolai. Okay, so it means that our main objective, we would like to see our continuing ordinary secondary students, and even our graduate in ordinary secondary students who are solving real life problems by using the scientific knowledge and mathematics knowledge that I've achieved it in classroom, and even the one that I'm going to teach you from this session 1 to the more than, I think that in session 4, for example, for the physics from 3, we're going to have more than 30, because we have almost 8 topics, or 8 to 9, 8 topics, I think so. So 8 topics, so possibly more than 50 sessions. So this will be the classroom instructions, but also in another departments that called departments of the kingdoms of heaven, or departments, kingdoms of heaven, yes, the departments of the kingdom of heaven. Then I will be teaching you also that where do we get this in classroom instructions, and where do we, and how should we define the real life problems biblically. So if you combine them, I will be teaching you how you can combine them and in order to solve real life problems. So our rejoice is not just to see our students they are passing exams. Our rejoice is to see our students they are solving real life problems, because we have small scale real life problems, medium scale real life problems, large scale real life problems, extraordinary large scale real life problems. Our real life problems existing in our community, that's what makes us to go to school to seek for the knowledge and come back to solve them, right? So we have some few specific objectives in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai, and one of the specific objective we're going to help all our students who will be taking our program to understand well to understand and love physics. First of all, we're going to teach you that to love physics. We are going to teach you to love physics, right? We are going to teach you to love physics regardless of your backgrounds in physics. Believe me that we'll be trying our level best and simplify the contents which have been seem complex in your classrooms from your former teacher, possibly that in your tuitions that you've been doing or you've been studying. We'll be putting in a simple language, and we are going to solve so many numerical and even word problems, so that to make sure you master the subject of physics. And our objective, it might be even one, will be leading your favorite scientific subject for the rest of your life. So another specific objective we like to see also that we like to prepare our students to pass the certificate secondary education examination. The physics, fundamental physics is universal. So the physics, first of all the stuff that we are going to learn in physics, we at Tanzania, we have never discovered any. So you see, so it means that this is all about the truths that are going on worldwide. So we have received this knowledge from the Europeans, especially Europeans. Europeans have been very excellent in science, especially for the 18th century and even 19th century. So they have done so many experiments and established so many laws. Okay, so why am I telling you that? Okay, I'm a Tanzanian. I'm teaching by using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania, but the contents are not for the Tanzanians. The contents are universal. They can help any students. If you are class 11 or you are form 3 in any African continents, in Asia, you're watching right now, in North America, in South America, in Australia, okay, in Europe, you are form 3 students or you are class 11 student, and you are studying physics. These contents that I'm going to teach you, they will be important for you. One thing which I insist you, if you're an international student or international guardians or international parents who is watching this program, these contents also are worthy for your kids, for your children. If you're an international teacher, these stuff also are very important for the middle school students. We can advise them to take them, because what am I going to teach them? It's all about the truths of physics. So what do you advise for the international students? You should have your syllabus, your physics syllabus for ordinary or for middle school, secondary education. Because for me, that I'll pay a focus on the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. But remember, I told you, contents are international. But the syllabus, it may be possibly different of Tanzania, it may be possibly different with the syllabus of physics in Egypt, right? And according to my research, they have minor differences. Okay, they have minor differences. So that's the visions we have, and those are some of the specific objectives that I've mentioned. We have so many specific objectives. I will keep on reinforcing these concepts in your mind until that has been it has been settled in your mind. Okay. So today, in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai, we have Right now we have 4 departments, right? One of the departments is departments of physics, and the subject of the day is physics. And this is session 1, general introductions of applications of vectors. This is the first chapter. So this is chapter 1. So let me write the chapter here. I forgot to write the chapter. So this is chapter 1. So chapter 1, because you have 8 chapters, I just need a single digit. And this chapter 1 is called the applications. Say applications of what? Of vectors. So applications of vectors, that's what I'm going to teach you today. Applications of vectors, right? Very interesting. Get prepared. Get prepared to enjoy the beauty of fundamental physics. I have also some other online schools, 5 other online schools. So you have to make sure that you check the link below. In the introductions of this video, you'll see the links of all our 6 online schools. So you have to make sure that you visit them and extract some more information, because some of them you will find they are helpful as long as you advance in academic after ordinary secondary school. If you take it out of advanced secondary school, then advanced education, when you study physics, we're gonna meet together there. If you take it out of ordinary diploma and you study physics, we're gonna meet together there, right? If you take it against later on the route of engineering, undergraduate engineering or undergraduate scientific, you will find me there. Okay, the blessing, right? So as I say, so this is chapter 1. This is chapter 1, and then these contents are for the Form 3 in United Republic of Tanzania or class 11. Possibly in Kenya, this might be a contents or applications of vector related in Form 2. Don't worry about maybe mention that it's class 3. Possibly that you are watching this program from United Kingdom. Possibly that applications of vectors in your country, you are learning it in Form 2 or in class 10. So you should not be confused about all of those informations. The point is focus on the contents. Okay. So let me give you a brief introduction, right? Of what are we going to cover? Where are we going? I want to show you the route, and I want to show you the destination, so you should know that what should we do in order to achieve what I'm saying to you or what I'm presenting to you. Okay, so let me do the quick review of the previous session. Quick review. I'm gonna doing quick review in every session, and quick review for this case. I'll repeat on lecture 00, which is titled as, it is still in our YouTube channel, right? So you can search in the YouTube search engine, general introductions of what? General introduction of what? So this is called general introductions of physics form 3. Physics form 3, right? Physics form 3, and then so you know some of them are writing a number 3, okay? Physics form 3. So and then so you find that in square bracket, possibility is called the Olenjolai. So you have to make sure that you watch. In this lecture or in this session, it's not lecture actually. It is not written as lecture. It has been written as session. Lecture is for college students. I use the terms lecture for the college students, so you should not get confused with that. I'm trying to make distinctions and to use the same language with the language that you're using in the class. First of all, in these sessions, I've explained to you or present to you registration, right? Registration, how you can do registration. And then after registration, I explain to you the vision that you have in Tanzania online or ordinary secondary school in square bracket Olenjolai. Again, I presented to you what problem am I solving? I'm solving a real life problem, right? So this is the solutions of a real life problems existing in Tanzania, in Africa, in Europe, in America, in North America, South America, in Asia, in Australia. Okay. Again, I've presented to you the reference, the big picture, right? Problems and solution. The big picture that I have myself, the big picture of physics, right? And which I will quickly repeat it right now, but I will take it further. Then I share to you about reference books. What are the reference books, right? I recommend for you to learn and materials, reference books and materials of 14 of physics 3, right? Of physics for the form 3, right? what are the relevance material that you need them to master physics 3. Then I mentioned 8 topics of what? Of physics for the form 3, right? For the form 3. So that is all about information. Registrations, the good things in this on Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, we don't have so many procedures, 9 topics, not 8 topics, 9 topics. We don't have so many procedures on registration. You just, if you have official email, registrations, you just need, I think that less than 30 seconds. Yes, because it's just, you have to subscribe. So registration, just use your email, subscribe. Then, because we are going to have more than 500, because currently in this Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, we are training, we are teaching 12 subjects, right? This is one of the subjects, and we are teaching 4 classes. So 12 subjects, we have 12 subjects for the 4 classes, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4, right? And also, that's not enough. I mean that in total, because for the Form 1, we are teaching physics, chemistry, mathematics, basic mathematics. Form 2, similarly, and likely for the Form 3 and for the Form 4. So total, currently we are teaching 12 subjects. So we are going to have more than 500 videos. So I insist you to subscribe. And in case also you feel from your heart that you want to offer God free-willing thanksgiving, because these contents are worthy, you could have paid a lot of money, actually, that, so that you can send your Thanksgiving free-willing Thanksgiving offerings through this cell phone number 0759745331. And I would like to welcome you. Congratulations for passing the Form 2 exam. For those who are national students, the Tanzanian students, congratulations. I know that you will be so very hard. Keep on working on that. So don't live by, you have to achieve your visions. You expected it to be a doctor. You expected to be, your visions is to be a doctor of medicine. Those are the positions, to solve problems in health, solve problems in maybe in air transportations, in water transportations, solve problems in electronics. So you have to remain consistent on your own vision. So you're welcome now, because I want you to fashion and sharpen your mind in physics, and make physics not a difficult subject. In Tanzania, physics is one of the hardest subjects in all level, in ordinary secondary education, and even in advanced secondary educations. It doesn't mean that I know everything about fundamental physics. I just know small portions, but I'm ready to teach you what I know. Okay, so let us go now to these general introductions of what applications of vector, right? Of vectors. So in general introduction of application of vectors, guys, ladies and gentlemen, my beloved students, we began this journey of learning physics with the subject we call science. In primary, in English medium primary school, or in or Swahili medium primary school. So once we have graduated our primary educations, and possibly that we passed it very well, and I know that you who is watching these programs, possibly you got a grade which is greater than C in what? In science, then we have joined in private or government or level secondary school, right? So, or level secondary school. So you find the subject of science has been divided into 3 branches. The first branch, you know what is it? It's called the chemistry, right? And the second branch, you know what the second branch, what is it called? The beautiful subject called the physics, okay? And then the third branch is called what? Biology. Wow, so we are studying these 2 subjects since Form 1, Form 2, means class 9 and class 10, right? Again, if we take further a look, we take a look on physics now, we find that physics for ordinary secondary education has been divided by the curriculum, or by the curriculums into 4 subjects, right? This is the big picture. So remember that on what am I presenting? Big picture, okay, of physics in Olenjolai. So big picture of physics in Olenjolai mindset, which I want to be your own big picture also. So here we had physics, which you have to still learn, because it will be the contents for the Form 4 exams, which is called certificate. So here we are looking for certificate secondary education examination. This will be a one that satisfies us. But here we had physics Form 1, which I believe that when you are in Form 3, you have passed well the physics Form 1. But again, If you didn't understand well, don't get confused. I'm also teaching physics form 1, all the 11 topics of 40, all the 9 topics of physics, right? And then we have again what in physics form 2. Physics form 2. If also you didn't understand, you have been living by chance, in physics form 2, don't get confused. I'm teaching all the topics of physics form 2, and we'll get our materials in our YouTube channel. Then we have again what another topic which is called the physics form 4. No, yes, physics form 3. So physics form 3, the one that we are learning today. Also, we have another subject which is physics form 4, which I'm going to teach you after we have covered the physics form 3. So for you to master fundamental physics in ordinary secondary education, it's better if you start these 4 subjects sequentially. You cover physics form 1, you go for the physics form 2, you go for the physics form 3, you go for the physics form 4. Sequential, right? Yeah, that's the way, one of the tricks that you have to master. That's the way that I've been learning. I had experienced so many challenges on learning fundamental physics during my ordinary secondary education. And the great challenge that we had scarcity of teachers, and they didn't have consistent teachers. That's the truth that I want to tell you. So I know the situation possibly that you are passing by. You are studying in the world schools, which does not have enough teachers. However, that education is provided free of charge for the ordinary secondary education for the government school. But again, you're still suffering. Okay, that's one of the things that the government has done. And that's why that God has sent me also to do my part to make sure that you have to enjoy and get the relevant and important contents. So then we are in physics for the form 3 today. So again, if we take a look on physics for the form 3, do you know what do we find inside physics form 3? So say that, let us go to inside physics of the form for the form 3. Tell your neighbor, let us go inside of physics form 3. Tell against your neighbor. Okay. So here we have 8 chapters. We have 9 chapters, right? 9 chapters. So you find 9 chapters. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then this is the 9th now. So 9 chapters or 40 of physics. One of the chapter will be right in the initial is applications of vectors. The second chapter is called the friction, which I will teach you. The first chapter is called the light. I will teach you. The first chapter is called the optical instrument, right, which I'm going to teach you. The 5th chapter is all about the thermal expansion. Thermal expansion. We will learn this thermal expansion as one of the topic of heat during our form 2, but nowadays, according to the new syllabus, this is the 50th chapter. Then we have, again, the 6th chapter is transfer of thermal energy. We learned during our form 2 transfer of thermal energy. So transfer of thermal energy. Okay? Then the next chapter, so transfer of thermal energy. The next chapter, we say that it's measurements of thermal energy. Measurement of thermal energy. Measurement of thermal energy. That's the 7th chapter. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. The 8th chapter is called the vapor and humidity. So VH, vapor and humidity. And the last chapter is one of my favorite chapter is current electricity. Current electricity. So these are the 9 chapters of what? Physics form 3. And I will mention them, don't worry. Just I'm building the strong foundations of physics for the form 3. We're gonna study every chapter there in detail, in very fantastic way, in a simplified way, by using different teaching aids so that you enjoy the beauty of physics. Okay, so again we say that, so today we want, I say that there is, I'm teaching the general introductions of applications of vectors. So in applications of vectors also, we are going to have something, we call them subtopics, right? So we are going to have something we call them subtopics of applications of vectors, right? And then subtopics of application of vectors I will mention, so you can find that we have subtopic 1, we have subtopic 2, your subtopic is array, etc. So before I take you now into the next part of this general introductions, you should have your, we need serious students. You should have your pen, you should have your pencil, you should have your ruler, you should have your access book, and write every piece of information we are providing to you, because this is not entertainment school. This is a serious and learning ordinary secondary school, just like even more than the normal school that sometimes you can dodge. Okay. So I would like just to quickly remind you some of the weapons. I call them weapons. You should have the first weapons that you should have for you to master physics for the Form 3 is physics syllabus for ordinary secondary educations from 1 to Form 4. For we who are Tanzanians, we are using this physics syllabus book. This is the syllabus book for the Form 1 to Form 3. This is the front view, and this is the back view, and this is the side view, and this is the side view. So it means that simply if you get inside, you find that it's very interesting, right? So it consists of topics or subtopics, and subtopics are written in bold. It means that in bold, and these are the subtopics. These are specific objective, teaching and learning strategies, teaching and learning resources, assessment, and number of periods, right? So this is a student should have this book, and even a physics teacher, a good physics teacher who has been called by God. Right? I don't mean that others are being called you understand what am I saying, or if you'll understand when we got the departments of the kingdoms of heaven, because not every teacher has been called to be a teacher. Okay, so this is the one of the weapons. In case that you don't have this book, right? Don't get confused, don't get frustrated. Just communicate with your parent. Go to the descriptions below of this video, and as you'll see that how you can order this book from Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School, and we'll sell this book. It's not free, just like a lecture right now, or just like this session. No, this you have to buy, but it's cheap. We are selling with a very cheap price, because we want our students to have materials also. It's not important for us to teach you, but it's better if you have weapons. This is weapons number 1, and the good thing, if you have this book, you'll be using from Form 1, it means that for the 4 years, and even can leave to your young brothers. But again, you can order. If you cannot afford this one, you can order a copy of it, and we can ship in all 31 regions of Tanzania, including Zanzibar and Unguja. Again, you have a second weapons. The second weapons, I asked you that you should have this book beside you, because we are going to use from this time, from this lecture. And another weapons, we say that you should have textbooks, right? One of the textbooks we recommended is Physics Form 3 and 4 students' books, which has been prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. But if you're watching the program in any of the African continents, in any of the African country, or in any continents worldwide, you can refer any textbook for the fundamental physics that is available in your country. But this one also you can order, and even you can order some other reference books. Is the only one of example that I wanted to show you, but we have so many reference textbook of fundamental physics, so you can order them online. You don't need to meet with me physically, so you just order online, and then we have a shipping day, and we see the protocols, and you can even use, and just I think that if you go in the description of this video, you'll get so many information. So again, the third weapons that you should have beside once you are learning physics for the Form 3 is the questions and answers book. For we Tanzanian, we have ordinary level physics review, problems and solutions from 2003 to 2019. The good thing of this book, first of all, it's good for the review when we are preparing yourself for the Form 3 exams, or for any Form 4 exams, right? It has what the physics summary notes for the Form 3 and Form 4, right? So then we say that these applications of vectors, and these applications of vectors, so you find first the short notes, and after all of these are the short notes. For example, this is the short notes for the geophysics, one of the topics in Form 6. And this the short notes are the short notes for radiophysics, when you are get preparing. And this is the questions. So these are the questions for 2017. This is certificate secondary education 2017. These are the questions, and then at the end or the next part is solutions of those questions. So these are the solutions. So it's a very important book. I'm going to use it as a reference book. We have so many questions and answers book. This is the one of them. So you should have a past papers as I explained in session 00. So in case that you need this book or you don't have, you can order it. Just to go to the description. So you can order it from Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai, and we'll send it to your house. Right? So let us now go into the fantastic part. So now the next part, I want you to quickly remind you and mention again the chapters of 40 of physics, say chapters of physics, form 3. Tell your neighbor that the light of physics, you love physics, tell me in the comment section. Of 40, form 3. Okay? Or class, form 3, or equality and sums of the English medium school. This is class 11, right? So good. So we say that according to, because we should refer the guidance, according to the method, physics is syllabus, the ones that I showed you soon. Physics is syllabus. Say physics is syllabus. Physics is syllabus should be your friend. For what? For ordinary, for ordinary, for ordinary secondary, for ordinary secondary, for ordinary secondary school, for ordinary secondary school. This is from form 1 to form 4, right? Form 1 to form 4 by TIE, Tanzania Institute of Education, and then for the syllabus of form 3, you may refer in from page. May mention the page so that you should not waste much of your time, because this is the syllabus for the form 1, form 2, form 1, form 2, form 3, form 4. So this is from the page. So from the page 69, and then the last page is to 100. So from page 69 to 118 page, right? So we say that there are, so according to the physics syllabus for ordinary secondary school, from 1 to form 4 by Tanzania Institute of Education, there are 9 chapters. There are 9 chapters of 40 physics in form 3. There are 9 chapters of physics in form 3. So these chapters are, okay, the first one is called applications. We call it applications of vectors. Applications of vectors. The second chapter after applications of vectors is called the friction. So I'm going to teach you about friction. Say friction. Very important chapter. Understand mechanics. If you're expecting to be a mechanical engineer, then friction is very important. And also the third chapter is called light. Light is very important if you want to be a multimedia specialist, or you want to be a videographer or photographer. Then the topic of light is very important for the rest of your life. Okay? So very important, because in video and photos we need light. Okay? So that's one of the areas where you may find this concept. But even the concept vector is very important in engineering perspective and even some other fields. Okay, the first chapter is called we call it optical instrument. So you have, even if you forget what am I going to teach you in this session, you have to make sure that you remember. Remember that I'm teaching only the Form 1 or Class 9 in 2 languages, English and Swahili. From 2, from 3, from 4 onwards, I'm teaching them in English, because English is the formal learning language for those levels. Optical instruments, right? So optical instrument. So you have to adapt. The 5th chapter is called the transfer of energy. So the 5th chapter is called the semi expansions, not transfer of energy. Semi expansion. So sheds. Semo expansion. So semo expansion, we are going to teach about linear expansivity. If you want to be a civil engineer, then this is a very interesting topic, because you know that those structures such as bridge, they do expand, right? Okay, semo expansions, houses, they do expand, semo expansion. And then we have the 6th chapter, which is closely relating, and this is called the transfer of semo energy. Thermal energy, thermal means heat, or thermal energy. So this is the relating chapter, thermal energy. So how thermal energy can be transferred? You can find this effect in railway constructions or in railway lines, right? Thermal transfer 40 of thermal energy. And then the 7th chapter is measurements of thermal energy. So these 3 consecutive chapters, all they teach you about measurements of 40. So this is measurement of the thermal energy. Measurement of 40 of thermal, measurement of thermal energy. Measurement of thermal energy. Okay, that's the 7th chapter, right? The 8th chapter, this is called the vapor and the humidity. Vapor and humidity. The 9th chapter, I say this is my favorite chapter. It's called the current electricity. You know why it's my favorite chapter? Because I'm an electrical engineer, or simply I'm an electronic engineer. So you know that electronics is electricity. So it's current electricity. So all of these nice, I want just to tell you, stay connected, stay forecasting, make sure that you have a receiving device, make sure that you have an internet connections to receive all of these contents, because I'm going to teach you all of these 9 topics without any kinds of the obstructions, right? So those are the 9 topics of 14 of Physics Form 3. So if you add up with previous 9 chapters of Physics Form 1 and 9 chapters of Physics Form 2, so you find in total you have how many? 27 chapters in your mind. And none of those pieces of information are not useful. All the pieces of information are useful. So then now allow me to take you into the next part of this demo introductions lecture. Subtopics of what? Of applications. So now we are taking this now. We are learning applications of vector. Later on we'll come into these other 8 remaining chapters. Applications. So this we call it the subtopics of applications of what? Of vectors. So this we have to refer the syllabus. They say it's response number 1 in page 70. Okay. Applications. So it's called applications of vectors. So how many subtopics are there? Well, we have 3 subtopics. Yes, there are 3 subtopics. So you say that according to physics and temporary initial syllabus for what? For ordinary, what? Secondary education. Sorry, this is not a school. This is a secondary education. So it's not secondary school, secondary education. Because this is for all ordinary secondary school in Tanzania. Ordinary education, right? So secondary education from Form 1 to Form 4, right? Form 4 by Tanzania Institute of Education. Say that in, and this is, you have to refer page 70 to 72. 70 to 72. So we say that there are there are 3 subtopics of 40 of applications of vectors. Applications of vectors. So these are, the first one is called the scalar and vector quantity. Scalar and vector quantity. Scalar and vector quantities. Scalar and vector quantities. So this I call it 1.1 because this first chapter. The second chapter, very interesting, relative motion. Second subtopic, relative motion. And I'm going to teach you all of these subtopics. The third subtopic, we call it resolution of vectors. Resolutions of vectors. Resolutions of what? Resolutions of vectors. So, in order for us to understand well applications of vectors, which is very important in mechanics, especially that even in magnetism, in electricity, very important because magnetic field is vector quantity, electric field is vector quantity. So the concept of vector is very important for the rest of your life in physics, in engineering, in science, in other fields of science. So these are the 3 subtopics that I'm going to teach you in applications of vectors, right? So again, allow me to take you into the next part, which is called specific objectives. Specific objectives of what? Of each subtopics. Tanzania Institute of Education have declared specific objectives of each subtopic of applications of vector. Applications of vectors. Applications of vectors. So these specific objectives have to be achieved by students once they have covered that particular subtopic and have been arranged according to the subtopic. So let us begin with 1.1, specific objectives of what? Specific objectives of the first subtopic of scalar that the students has to cover after covering the subtopic of scalar and vector quantities. And I'm going to quote quantities. So let me quote. By the end, so according to this syllabus. So let me show you because I want you to believe what am I presenting to you. So this is the page. This is page 7, right? This is applications of vectors. This is scalar and vector quantity, the first subtopic. The student should be able to first distinguish between scalar and vector quantities, which I'll teach you. So it doesn't start with by the end. You, the student who is learning right now, or the physicist, the student should be able to distinguish. I have to teach you how can you distinguish scalar and the vector quantities. Scalar and vector quantities. Then B, I will mention all the specific objectives because it's the first topic. But in second topic, in each subtopic, I'll be mentioning one specific objective and leave the second specific objective so that you can I leave the blank, so you can fill the blanks. You can have this book and write on your hands because I need active students. So B, the second specific objective in scalar and vector quantities, there are 3 specific objectives. You should be able to add vectors using graphical method. Add vectors using graphical method. And D, C, should be able, so I'll be teaching you how you can add vectors by using graphical method. State triangle and parallelogram laws of forces. I will teach you how you can state triangle, say triangle, and the parallelogram, okay, parallelogram, laws of forces. So state triangle and parallelogram laws of forces. So this is the end of cutting. So these are the 3 specific objectives you have to achieve once you cover the concepts of the scalar and Rorty and vector quantities. You should be able to distinguish scalar and vector quantities, should be able to add vectors using graphical methods, should be able to state triangle and parallelogram laws of forces. And we are going to do all of this stuff here. So stay tuned, stay connected, and stay focused, and stay prepared to enjoy the beauty of fundamental physics for the Form 3. Then we go for the 1.2 specific objectives. Do you enjoy physics? Learning physics, do you enjoy? Tell me in the comment section. Specific objectives. Okay, of what? Of learning, these are specific objectives of learning what? Of learning the second subtopic, which is relative motion. Say relative motion. This is another type of motion we always experience in our life, but we don't know that it's all about the applications of vectors. Relative motion. So let me cut. The student, you, should be able to do the following. Okay, in this, at the end of covering this subtopic, there are 3 specific objectives. Explain the concept of relative motion. To be able to explain, I have to teach you, explain the concept of relative motion. I will teach you how you can explain the concept of relative motion. Don't worry, don't get confused. I will be together with you and God is with you. And also to calculate the relative velocity of 2 bodies. To calculate, should be able to, calculate velocity, calculate the relative velocity of 2 bodies. The velocity of 2 bodies. And D. So let's say ND. C, the last specific objective. Apply the concepts of relative motions in daily life. Let's apply the concept of what? Of relative motion. Relative motion in daily life. Okay, apply the concept of relative motion in daily life. So this is the end of quotation. It's the end of quotation. Okay. So now let me take you into the last part for this concept of specific objective, which now I would like to present before you, my beloved students, specific objectives that you have to achieve of the said subtopic, which is, do you remember? Tell me. Stop the video, pause the video, and then tell me the specific objective. It's called what? Resolution. Resolution of what? Of forces. Should remember these subtopics of vectors. So resolutions of what? Of vectors. So even myself, I forgot of vectors. So let me cut. How to cut. So the student, you watching this program, should be able to, okay, students should be able to, also there are very specific objectives. I have to teach you to be able to explain the concepts of components of vectors, explain the concept of components of vectors. I'll teach you what are the components of vectors, concepts of components of a vector, so it is singular. And then B should be able to resolve a vector into two perpendicular components. And I will teach you resolve a vector into two perpendicular components. Perpendicular components and the perpendicular components. So you have this sign or this kind of the stop. Perpendicular components. And also the lastly is a specific objective to apply resolutions of vector in solving problems. Should be able to apply resolution of vectors, to apply resolutions of vectors in solving problems. So this is the last. Okay, so these are how many specific objectives, my beloved students. Here in the first subtopic, you should achieve series specific objective. The second subtopic, you should achieve series specific objective. In the third subtopic, you should achieve series specific objective. How many in total? 9 specific objectives. So any teacher, whether you are former classroom physics teacher of Form 3, or your tuition physics teacher, or maybe your brother, your relative, your father is your physics teacher, anybody who has to teach you physics, if you're a Tanzanian, has to make sure that you achieve all these 9 specific objectives. Even if that you are a self-learner, you are learning physics on yourself, right? You are learning physics on yourself. Then you have to make sure that you cover all these 9 specific objectives so that you will be successful in solving questions and even applying the concepts of applications of vector to solve real life problems. And don't worry, because you are in Tanzania, so don't worry, because you are in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school in square bracket in Olenjolai, we are going to cover all of this stuff. Right? We are going to cover all of this stuff. So, now, because you are still copying it now, let me take you into the last part of this session. I'm about to finish the session 1 of 40 general introductions of applications of vectors. So now tell your neighbor we are inside applications of vectors. So myself and every teacher, this is the responsibility for every teacher, and it has been my responsibility. I have to sit down and then break down this series subtopic with all the specific objectives that the students have to achieve into small concepts, as I call them, concepts of applications of vector, that we are going to have to cover them, so whether in one session or 2 sessions or 3 sessions, regardless of how it is. But I have arranged them sequentially, sequentially, just like a sequence in consecutive. So from the fundamental concept to the lasting concept. Okay. So the lasting part, I want to present to you concepts of 40, concepts of applications, concepts of applications, concepts of applications of 40 of vectors, concepts of applications of vectors, right? So we are going to cover the first concept, which is the general introduction of 40, the ones that I'm teaching you, which you've already covered, general introduction. So it should be called the general introduction of what? Of applications, applications of what? Of vectors, right? And the second concept, I'm going to teach you about scalar quantity or scalar quantities. Then I'm going to teach you about vector quantities. Okay, vector quantities. The first concept that I'm going to teach you about triangle law, okay, of vector, right, of vectors. Then the fifth, I will teach about parallelogram law as the specific objective declared, parallelogram law of 40 of vectors. Then we go for the 60 concept. The 60 concept, we say that concepts of relative motion, means we have already all of this. So its concept is for the first subtopic, concept of relative motion. So now we'll be beginning the second subtopic. Okay, 1.7, I'll teach a relative body or relative velocity of the two bodies as requirements of the specific objective. Relative velocity of two bodies. Then 1.8, applications of relative motions in real life. Applications of relative motion. Applications of relative motion in real life. Applications of relative motion in real life. That's the preparations of Department of Spirit, Departments of the Kingdoms of Heaven. So the ninth concept, 1.9, ninth concept, is called the components of a vector. We teach about components of a vector. Components of a vector. Then the 10th concept that I'm going to teach you, I'm going to teach you about applications of resolving applications of resolving vectors, applications of resolving vectors in real life as per requirements of what you apply the resolutions of vectors in solving problems. Applications of resolving vectors in solving problems. So you can notice that applications of relative motions in real life, components of a vector, okay, resolve a vector into perpendicular. So this, I think this should be the 11th concept, right? The 10th concept should be resolving. Resolve a vector into perpendicular. Resolve a vector into perpendicular components. Okay, so these are concepts that you're going, but the last is concept 1.12 is solving questions, nectar questions, pre-mock questions or mock questions of applications of vectors. Applications of vectors. So these are the concepts that we have to, 12 concepts that we have to cover together, I and you. And frankly speaking, that I will be pouring myself. I ask you also to concentrate. Don't worry about maybe we are going to cover 12 concepts. Every concept is very important for you to solve real life problems, and very important also for you to understand the concept of applications of vectors. So this is the end of session 1, the general introductions of applications of vector, as we are the first topic of physics for Form 3. I thank God who have given me a gift of teaching, because He built the teaching in me as swimming as He built the swimming in fishes. You have never seen fishes attending the swimming school. So similarly to me, that's how the teaching is. So I'm teaching, and teaching is me, right? And God is the one that made me to be a teacher. So I thank Him. I thank Him who have given me also this global and worldwide global idea of teaching by using the digital platform. And I thank Him also who have given me or have been with me in preparations of all of these contents, and even at this time when I've been teaching. And I thank God also who have given you a chance to attend and even to listen and follow along this session 1 of the general introductions of applications of vectors. And I believe that it will help you to understand every piece of information that I've spoken, which is very important, and the Holy Spirit will remind you once you forget what I've been teaching you, maybe at a particular time when you need that piece of information. I thank you also for taking your time and joining me. And I invite you again in session 2, when now we are going to begin with this second concept of the scalar quantities, right? So we'll be starting scalar quantities, what it means. Possibly can cover scalar quantities and vector quantities in session 2, possibly. I'm not sure, because it depends on the volumes of the concepts that I'm going to prepare, but possibly that's what I'm expecting to at this moment. So remember to subscribe, click the buttons there, which is written subscribe, and then choose the bell, choose the options of all. When you click the bell, choose the options of all. Make sure to share these contents with your friends. Make sure you read the descriptions below so you can get so many information. And make sure also you order the weapons, I call them the reference materials. And also, when I was doing my ordinary secondary education, ordinary secondary educations in some of the schools, in 2 schools in the United Republic of Tanzania, we are not allowed to use a scientific calculator. But nowadays, when I did my research, I wondered that ordinary secondary schools also are allowed to use a scientific calculator. So this is another weapons I didn't include in my general introductions of physics for the Form 3, but I'll be including in every, and I'll be mentioning in every sessions, because I've been teaching physically some of ordinary secondary students in Tanzania. So they have been using scientific calculator, and they're allowed to get in with it in exam. So you should have this scientific calculator, and if you buy the original one, you can keep it from your Form 3 right now. When you are Form 3, use it until you reach to the university level, if you don't use it. Because these are, for instance, this scientific calculator, I have it for 3 years right now, and it has never been getting any kinds of the defects. So we are selling original scientific calculator. You can order, just go to the descriptions below there, you can order it. And we are selling original with a cheap price, because we want to equip you so that you have to go far as God will take you in physics. So I thank you very much, and may God bless you abundantly. I'm keep praying always for all my students, and I ask you also to pray for me. Again, when you feel from your heart that you want to offer God free willing thanksgiving, so that so many lectures of physics from Sere will be in air through the internet, you can send your free willing thanksgiving through this telephone number 0759745331, and registration name is Olenjolai. In case you want to do the bank transaction, read the descriptions below, you will see. So we know what you are offering to, because you have to offer to God, don't offer to me. Your offering will be paying for the running cost of this program. It's very expensive to run this program. Very expensive. First of all, it's very expensive to initialize. It means that the initial cost of these programs is high, and the running cost is higher than even the initial cost. So to have one lecture in air of applications of vector or physics from 3 really is expensive. But you know, that our God is great, and my God is greater than the expenses that are required for the running cost. So this is God's vision, and He's going to pay for He's going to pay for His own vision, right? But you, the ones of His messenger, who have the God's money, right? So that's why that I'm inviting you. It's just an invitation. Okay, so let us meet in the session 2 of applications of vector. May God bless you abundantly. Make sure that in case you have any questions, ask in the comment section here. Answer questions also other students when you are asking, so that you may be an active student and a competent student. One thing which I want to remind you, remember that the visions we have in Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai is to incubate, to train, to teach, to encourage, to mentor, and even to lead some group of students who are ready to take classroom instructions in physics, in science. It means in physics, chemistry, biology, agriculture even, combining with knowledge of with knowledge of mathematics, both mathematics or additional mathematics, and combined with the knowledge of Word of God from the Bible in order to solve real-life problems. So when I'll keep on teaching you, you have to think in your mind, how can you take this piece of information and solve real-life problems in your community? Don't think that you are going to solve real-life problems in another family. It begins from your own family. That's the small-scale real-life problems. So may God bless you abundantly, and see you in the next session.